was, at what stage in your fashion profession would you consider yourself a success? And I thought I would be like, Pat, I think you should answer that. You know, when people know your name and they're wanting to buy your clothes, I think you are successful, but in the same breath, we are always striving to do more and to be better. So I don't think that there's actually ever a time, I don't know if you concur with me on that you can say, okay, I am successful and I can just sit back and not do anything. I think one is always working and striving and striving to be better.
Then a question from Solofelo Moribe is it worth studying for 3 years? I think yes. I think yes, it is important. Yeah, no, I think it really is important to study for 3 years and to finish what you're busy with, because that gives you credibility. You may have an inherent talent within you where you're able to either, I don't know, understand color way above what your friend or your cousin may be able to. But if you can actually, if you can tie that up with the science of fashion, and that's what studying will help you to do, I think that will just take you and catapult you to the next level, which is crucial.
Okay, this is from Emile. What is the best part to take after graduating? Now, as I said, I'm in fashion recruitment, so I would suggest that you partner up with a recruitment agency if you want to get into that field, so we can market your CV for you instead of you going and knocking on the doors to all the different brands and companies. I also think there's a few other questions that will tie in with this as well, but if you start working while you're studying in the industry, like don't go work at a pharmacy if you want to work at H&M, you know, rather get into a brand, into a store that will give you some experience in that.
From Omolemo is, how do you keep up with the latest trends? So for me to answer that question is a little bit different, I think, to the answer that you might want to hear. Because I'm in visual, that is my first sort of place I go to answer something like this. But I think for fashion it will be a little bit different. So with me, looking for what's happening in international stores globally is important, what their windows look like, what the trends sort of are, you know, whether it be that there's a big focus on the outdoors and a lot of textures in winter with regards to the bark of trees, or perhaps it's like a stony surface, something like that. That's what I look at, and I usually refer to websites. I'm not privileged enough just yet to be traveling to find out what those are, but obviously traveling to see what's happening internationally is first prize, because we tend to use that as our inspiration in South Africa. And so yeah, for me I think just traveling the internet is what's important to find out how to ascertain what those trends are.
Is a certificate or diploma enough to get work in the industry? What I find is that a lot of companies, like with the Busby Group, they are guests from Aldo, Nanois, Corin Millen, Steve Madden, all of those stores. They will do internships. So if you are registered with us and get you in there, they usually ask for graduates that have a diploma, not a diploma, sorry, that actually have a degree. But you can also get work in the industry with a diploma. I think it goes hand in hand with having experience. Like if you are working while you're studying, if you're working at the Edgars or Legit or a store, and you want to go into stores, I think that is worse. If you want the design front, if you're working with a local designer or interning at their place, to just find out the ins and outs of the industry. Whatever experience you have, I think, can also put you on that level of if you have a degree. It's not to say if you don't have the degree, you're not going to get anything. Your experience that counts as well.
All right, why, from Marvin, why is it that the fashion industry is dominated and mostly career centralized on the fashion design sector and not other fashion-related careers? I think the sweet and short of that is that is what the public wants to know about. The public wants to know about the Cape Town and what they are up to, because I think the putting together a garment, that's the pulse of the fashion industry. Everything else stems from that. So, whether with my case being in visual merchandising, I'm step number 10 after the garment has been designed. Whereas when you're cutting that fabric and you're making those patterns, that is going to be the inspiration for every other facet of the business to plug into and then eventually to talk about. So the public's not wanting to know what the head buyer of the Fashini group is doing over the weekend. They want to know what the designers are doing because their life is cool. And I think as well, with designing as well, there's just a need to surround yourself with beauty, and there's a need to surround yourself with crazy things in life because that inspires you to be a better designer. So I think there's a lot more talkability, there's a lot more talkability around a designer's life, and there's a lot more talkability definitely around what it is that they are up to in their work.
Again, Lucy asked, after studying for your degree, is it advisable to go into the industry without any experience? And what are the challenges that you would face? As I said, if you want to go into that industry or with marketing, because I know you also do the marketing side, then try and work in that field while you are studying. Try and get exposure, help, when we drove in the Mercedes-Benz, go to the dealerships, if they're doing events or they're doing marketing for the brand, see what you are able to do and try and shadow people in those different avenues that you want to get into. So you can add that onto your CV. It all counts at the end of the day.
I think I've got all my questions, but the one thing I want to add to what Razia is talking about as well is while you are studying, I think it is so important to get involved in the retail industry, the fashion retail industry. It gives you an idea of what it is that customers are looking for. It gives you an idea of how it is that these retailers who make so much money, how it is that they are able to do that. And I see it every day when I walk around at the head office and I'm in meetings with people who are working at the group I'm working for. People who have worked in stores, there is a huge difference between the insight they have, the challenges that we meet up with in the workplace, versus those who have only studied and have gone straight into working at a head office for a retail organization. So I think, I know you're all busy, it's a time-consuming thing to study, but if you can, at least like once a week or something like that, get into a store, even if it is that you're working for no remuneration at all, but it's a great understanding you get when you do work in a store. You get to understand what the ready-to-wear market is all about, what kind of fabrications they enjoy wearing. At the moment, for example, there's this one very important thing happening in retail, and that is that denim sales are not as popular as they used to be. And I think the main reason for that is that people are a lot more focused on comfort, people are more focused on an active lifestyle, and denim almost seems a little bit too constricting. And if you look around, even if you look at stores globally, as well as in South Africa, every second store is having a denim campaign in their windows at the moment. And the reason for that is that sales are down and they need to get those up again. So those kinds of things are very important to learn as you embark on this process of studying fashion design.